Now you're the one making faces.
I look like a joker or crack.
This is a serious event.
I like kids.
Kids. We're catering to children now?
Anybody that'll listen to.
Just watch the video, okay?
Before we can start talking about how this beautiful hotel. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the Stanley Hotel today.
The Wawa?
The Stanley Hotel,
Which is...
where Stephen King stayed,
Oh, okay.
where The Shining is supposed to have been inspired.
Okay. So it's about Stephen King.
Helpful. Anyways, how is that lower than it was earlier?
Because your phone is heavier.
Yeah, but wasn't that low when we did it earlier?
Is that better?
It's a little better than this.
A little? Do I need to make a new one that's a little more, like,
We just need to
sturdy?
break down and bias here.
Yes, we do.
Anywho, before we can start talking about how this beautiful hotel inspired the great Stephen King, we need to learn some about the location and history. Then at the end, we will get into the haunting. So stay tuned to the very end of the movie, or the show.
Video.
Because I'm not going to tell you a timestamp either. You have to
You have to wait. Pay attention.
no cheating.
Oh, we're doing this way now?
Well, that's the way it fit better.
Oh, okay. Weird, but alright. The Stanley Hotel is a 142-room colonial revival hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, United States of America.
It's so pretty.
It's approximately 5 miles from the entrance to Rocky Mountain National Park. The Stanley offers a beautiful view of Lake Estes, the Rockies, and especially Long's Peak. It was built by Freeland Oscar Stanley of Stanley Steamer fame. Stanley Steamer, really? I didn't know that. And opened on July 4th, 1909. Oh, that's kind of cool. As a resort for upper-class Easterners and a health retreat for sufferers of pulmonary tuberculosis. Ooh. The hotel and its surrounding structures are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The hotel also served as the inspiration for the Overlook Hotel in Stephen King's 1977 best-selling novel, The Shining, and as the filming location for the 1997 TV miniseries also written by Stephen King.
The only one that he will actually say he liked.
Yeah, because the first one kind of sucked. Don't ever put a comedic actress in a horror film unless you know they can actually act in a horror film.
Stephen King.
What?
Jack Nicholson can. It was the...
Yeah, no, it was... God, I never remember her name. I know it. Shelley Long. I got it. Shelley Long. She's a great comedic actress. Popeye, for instance. Not so much on the horror films.
Alright, in 1903, the Yankee steam-powered car inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley, 1849 to 1940, was stricken with a life-threatening resurgence of tuberculosis.
Resurgence, yeah.
The most highly recommended treatment of the day was fresh air with lots of sunlight and a hearty diet. Therefore, like many lungers of his day, Stanley decided to take to the
Hills.
curative air of the Rocky Mountains.
To take to the hills.
I lived in Colorado for a while. There's a lot of like sanitariums and stuff that were used for TV work. And stuff. I couldn't breathe, and I don't know how they breathe any easier. Maybe breathe worse.
Well, I have asthma, so if I get too high up in the mountains, my asthma really acts
I couldn't
up.
even hardly walk up the stairs without going.
Scratch. In. Oh, left. Oh, thank you.
Anywho.
Ignore that scratching bit, okay? He and his wife Flora.
That was my knee. Did you hear?
Yeah. He and his wife Flora arrived in Denver, Colorado in March, and in June, on the recommendation of Dr. Sherman Grant Bonney, relocated to Estes Park, Colorado for the rest of the summer.
I said, I don't see how they breathe better up there.
Some people can.
Over the course of the season, Stanley's health improved dramatically. Impressed by the beauty of the valley And grateful for his recovery, he decided to return every year.
Oh, he should have just stayed.
Stanley, look, you scraped his cleaners in my head. Sorry.
Really? Oh my goodness. By 1907, Stanley had recovered completely. However, not content with the rustic accommodations, lazy pastimes, and relaxed social scene of their new summer home, Stanley resolved to turn Estes Park into a resort town.
Please don't. There's too many people. Alrighty. In 1907, the construction began on the Hotel Stanley, a 48-room grand hotel that catered to the class of wealthy
Moderately healthy.
urbanites who composed the Stanley's social circle back east, as well as a consumatives seeking the healthy.
Sure. Consumptives. That's people with
with consumption,
lung
which was
diseases.
which was TB.
Yeah.
Seeking a healthful climate.
Oh, what she said. Okay, so
I hate this stool with a passion.
me too.
STDs.
We need to get our couch over here. We gotta talk to brother-in-law.
Question is,
We gotta talk to brother-in-law and get our couch over here. If nothing else, we need our freaking sofa, man. It's so hard. Even this ottoman that I'm sitting on is uncomfortable as hell on my ass.
I'd rather sit on that than the bony ass. And I'm not a tiny person. I got a little bit of a booty.
Well,
It's
text
still-
when we're done with the video. Text brother-in-law and see if we can get it over here quickly. By 1907, Stanley. Oh, that's the wrong one. The land was officially purchased in 1908 through the representatives of Lord Dunraven, the Anglo-Irish peer who had originally acquired it by stretching the provisions of the Homestead Act of 1862 and preemption rights.
What is your motion?
My blood sugar's high. Chill out. God. Don't be a wanker.
Between 1872 and 1884, Dunraven claimed 15,000 acres or 61
Kilometers.
kilometers, whatever, of the Estes Valley, and an unsuccessful attempt to create a private hunting reserve, making him one of the largest foreign holders of American lands. Unpopular with the local ranchers and farmers, Dunraven left the area for the last time in 1884, relegating the ranch to the management of an overseer.
You did that?
My
Okay.
allergies are bugging me today. I'm having a hard time breathing and stuff. Maybe it's talking about the high altitude.
I doubt that that's the case, but let's just say that there's probably pollen in the air. Dunraven's presence in Colorado had become so well known in the United States that his situation was parodied in Charles King's novel Dunraven Ranch, 1892, as well as James A. Michener's Centennial in 1974. His reputation was such that when Stanley suggested the Dunraven as a name for his new hotel, 180 people signed a buckskin petition requesting that he name it for himself instead.
Buckskin. It's official when it's on buckskin.
Buckskin, yeah. Officially.
Let's see. The main hotel and concert hall was completed in 1909, and the manor in 1910 to bring guests from the nearest train depot in the foothills town of Lyons, Colorado. Stanley's car company produced a fleet of specially designed steam-powered vehicles called mountain wagons, which seated 9 to 12 passengers. Wait, that's yours.
Are you sure?
It's a different layout.
Stanley operated the hotel almost as a pastime, remarking once that he spent more money than he made each summer. That's a lot of money. God. Wish I had that kind of money.
In 1926, Stanley sold his hotel to a private company incorporated for the sole purpose of running it.
Really?
But he made all kinds of good money with that.
Oh, probably. The venture failed, and in 1929, Stanley purchased his property out of foreclosure, selling it again in 1930 to fellow automobile and hotel magnate Roe Emery of Denver. Until 1983, the resort was only open during the summer, shutting down for the winter every year.
This is where you get the shining. The presence of the hotel with Stanley's own involvement greatly contributed to the growth of Estes Park, incorporated in 1917, and the creation of the Rocky Mountain National Park, established in 1915.
He lived to the age of 91, dying of a heart attack in Newton, Massachusetts, 1 year after his wife in 1940.
See, that's what I want. I want to die not long after you first.
I want to die together, so if I die, you die next. Like, right after me.
You're older than me, so you'll go first.
That doesn't mean anything. If I get into a car accident... Jeez.
Stanley Hotel National Register Historic District contains 11 contributing structures, including the main hotel, the concert hall, a carriage house, manager's cottage, gatehouse, and a lodge. A smaller bed and breakfast originally called Stanley Manor.
Mm-hmm. The buildings were designed by F.O. Stanley with the professional assistance of Denver architect T. Robert Wegener, Henry Lord Cornwallis Rogers, and contractor Frank Kirchhoff. The site was chosen for its vantage overlooking the Estes Valley and Long's Peak within the national park. Ooh.
Ooh.
The main building, concert hall, and manor house are steel frame structures on foundation of a random rubbled granite with clipboard siding and asphalt shingle roof.
Ooh. Originally, Stanley chose a yellow ochre color for the building's exterior with white accents and trim. Why? Yellow ochre is nasty looking. It's like yellow baby puke. What the hell?
I'll try to find a picture of it.
Gross. Gross. It looks gross is what it looks like.
Lumber used in the structure was harvested from the areas of Bierstedt Lake and Hidden Valley, in the future National Park, and purchased from Kirchhoff's Lumberyard in Denver and Bluff City Lumber Company of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Ooh. The granite was quarried. I can't even talk. The granite was quarried from the Baldwin property near the confluence of Beaver Brook and the Big Thompson River. Shut up, jerk face.
Non-local materials were brought to Lyons, Colorado by rail, and then hence to Estates Park by mule dragon wagon.
Are you sure? Upon opening in 1909, the hotel was one of the first in the country to be fully electrified from the lighting to the kitchens, although the light fixtures could be operated with either electricity or gas. To supply his hotel with power, Stanley led the construction of the Fall River hydro plant, which also brought electricity to the town of Estes Park for the first time. I am so in love with that. Hydro Park. It's good. Clean energy. It's clean energy.
Every guest room had a telephone, and each pair of rooms shared a suite bathroom with running water supplied by Black Canyon Creek, which had been dammed in 1906. Had been determined to be dammed.
Well, I'll be damned. Ow, my wrist. It's been hurting all day. Show your face.
Oh.
Circa 1935, during Roe Emery's tenure as owner of the ochre-colored siding was painted white, and most of the original electro gas fixtures were replaced.
What was that squeak?
I don't know. Where are my kitties? Should we take a quick break? I'm worried. Alright, sorry guys, we had to go check on the kitties.
Everybody is okay. I don't know what that screech was.
Although is where you're at.
Although the style of the hotel evokes the federal-style architecture of New England, the general form and layout are designed to accommodate very high contemporary standards of hygiene and comfort.
Given Stanley's interest in healthful living and his rational approach to architectural planning, he may have been inspired by the Carolina Hotel, built 1899 to 1900 in Pinehurst, North Carolina, designed by Bertrand E. Taylor, 1856 to 1909, a national leader in hospital design, and like Stanley, a resident of Newton, Massachusetts.
The parallels between the Carolina and Stanley extend beyond architecture. The builder of the Carolina, James Walker Tufts, was a Boston soda magnate who initially developed Pinehurst as a health resort for people with pulmonary diseases. We've all heard of Pinehurst, right?
Pinehurst?
Pinehurst. It's Pinehurst.
It's Pinehurst. P-I-N-E is Pine. Hurst. It's Pinehurst. They're saying it wrong. Whether or not Stanley had exposure to Taylor's work and ideas, it is certain that he was influenced by Dr. Sherman Grant Bonney of the University of Denver, a contemporary expert in the treatment of tuberculosis. Stanley's Estes Park summer house is illustrated in Bonney's book, Pulmonary Tuberculosis, published while the hotel was under construction, and Stanley himself is acknowledged in the preface for his interest and efficiency in connection with the photographic illustrations. Oh my God, my stomach hurts.
Although the hotel never operated as a sanitarium per se, it was designed to be an optional environment for pulmonary health. When the construction plan was announced, the Fort Collins Weekly Courier reported
Why is she holding on to my sweater?
Park has been a favorite place for doctors to send the more robust of the patients who were in shape to be braced up by the keen air and the considerable altitude, but it has not always been possible to get suitable accommodations and surroundings for them.
Oh, is there more?
That's for you.
Oh, for me. I thought there was.
Do, 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 do.
With the park turned into a vast pleasure ground
Sure.
and ample provisions for the best food products, all precious objections will be dissipated. Accordingly, the facilities were sited and designed to meet the requirements expounded in Bonney's book, for instance, according to Bonney.
An ideal size for sanitarium, or in fact for all buildings designed especially for pulmonary invalids, should be upon the southern slope of a hill or near the base of a moderately high mountain. In order to afford shelter from the prevailing winds, the building should be located according to regional weather conditions, either to the east or the west of spur extending southward. It is still more advantageous of the mountain rises to a considered distance in the far background, even to a height of several hundred feet. The soil should be dry, porous, and sandy, although a rocky formation is not undesirable. On account of the necessity of irrigation to dry climates, no elaborate attempt should be made to beautify the grounds by laying out expensive lawns or by disposing lower gardens in the immediate vicinity of the sanitarium. So it should look like crap. Like, don't bother to make it look nice for these poor old people.
It's just supposed to be good for their health, not for their beauty.
Although such ornamentation adds greatly to the attractiveness of this institution, undoubted benefit accrues in the invalid form. A pleasing landscape, attractive views, calming land and sky effect contribute to a remarkable degree in breaking an unnecessary monotony.
Monotony.
Definite inspiration and elevation of spirits are not infrequently afforded by the sublimity of scenic grandeur witnessed in mountain resorts. This text is accompanied by a photograph of the delightful view afforded from the porches of cottages for consumptives in East Park, Colorado. The hotel also provided the ample porches, ventilation, southern exposure, and appetizing food recommended in Bonnie's book.
I think they just parked in Mark's spot. Isn't that Mark's spot? The style of the Stanley Hotel campus is colonial revival. The strong, symmetrical arrangement of the primary facade and the classically derived ornamental articulations, such as the two-stage octagonal cupola, Palladian window, fan lights, dormers, swan's neck pediments, scroll brackets, paired Tuscan columns, oval oxeye windows, and elaborately turned balusters are all stylistic hallmarks of American Georgian or federal design. I really think they're parked in Mark's spot. Or it says next to that. I never
The
remember.
clipboard siding and carved wood elements are characteristic of New England original building practices, and yet these features are modified and arranged in a way that cannot be found in any historic example. These inaccuracies are due less to ignorance of historic design principles than a desire to utilize historical elements in light of modern design principles.
This little shit keeps scratching my arm.
It's just pretty. Valentino's licking his butt.
Say that louder. I think everybody wanted to know what our cat is doing in the
Say that the
background.
other cat, the gray one.
Oh my god, shut up. By the 1920s, this approach to colonial revival design was supplanted by a more accurate use of historical details. Is it this page now?
Yes.
Here. You fold. And then take this when you're done. You're a human too!
Again.
Yes!
The style of this hotel contrasts sharply with
contrasts.
the rustic style used for the other hotels in Stays Park before and after the Stanley construction. However, it is not an uncommon choice for a hotel of the Stanley size and quality in the time period. Let's see.
She's scratching me again. In general, the colonial revival symbolized the unique historical development of the United States and its role in forming a unique American identity, characterized by the New England ethos and political ideals of the Founding Fathers. She's scratching me again. Her nail is in my neck. These characteristics were supposed to be especially embodied by the traditional architecture of New England, which was admired for its excellence and functionalism. For God's sake, that cat's got to stop digging her nails into places they shouldn't be. See? She's vicious.
Everywhere the colonial revival was seen, it symbolized the progress of American civilization based upon enduring traditional values. By the same token, the style of the Stanley was a reflection of the clientele's black East gentility.
Gentility?
I hope it is.
Let me see it.
Not gentility.
Gentility. Ow, my ear! Son of a bitch! Why does that little shit have to hurt me so much? I thought you loved me.
As well as an advertisement for the hotel's modern comforts and the future potential of Estes Park as a posh resort town. All of these contain.
I've already got 3 holes in each ear. Why do I need a 4th one without proper hygienics?
Connotations were heightened in contrast with the ruggedness of the Rocky Mountains and the rusticity of other hotels in the area.
What she said. Floor plan of the main hotel, completed 1909, was laid out to accommodate the various activities popular with the American upper class at the turn of the 20th century, and the spaces are decorated accordingly.
The music room, for instance, was a cream-colored walls.
Ew.
Originally green and white, picture windows, and fine historical plaster work was designed for letter writing during the day and chamber music all night. Cultured, pure sweets perceived as feminine.
Perceived as feminine. Perceived as feminine. On the other hand, the smoking lounge, today the Pinion Room, and adjoining billiard room with their dark-stained wood elements and granite arch fireplaces were designated for enjoyment by male guests. Yes, let's have a room just for the girls to write letters and the boys to smoke cigars. Our cats are being adorable. They're still getting used to each other.
Stanley himself, having been raised in a Calvinist household in the
Calvinist.
household in the teetotaling state of Maine,
Teetotally.
and having received from serious lung disease, did not smoke cigars and drink alcohol, but these were essential for after-dinner activities for most men at the time. Billiards, however, was among Stanley's most cherished pastime. Well, just like in the Titanic, they had the cigar smoke room.
Yeah, but only men were allowed to go in there.
This is proper thing to do for rich people.
Only rich men back then.
Females smoked.
Yeah, they had to go out on the deck, whereas men had their own room. When the hotel opened, 48 guest rooms, each with a telephone and each pairing a bathroom, each pair sharing a bathroom. Didn't we read that already?
Yeah.
With no central heating or ventilation system, the structure was designed to facilitate natural airflow. The Palladium window at the top of the grand stair could be opened to induce a cross breeze through the lobby. French doors in all public spaces opened onto verandas, and two curving staircases connecting the guest corridors prevent stagnant air in the upper floors. Although the main hotel is now heated in the winter, guests still depend on natural ventilation for cooling in the summer. That sucks.
Hopefully it's next to water. Oh wait, it's not.
Well, no, there's a lake down there. Lake Estes. It's probably a little drive, but it's down there. You want to go swimming.
Where was this? Where did you? Oh, cooling in the summer. Within a few years of opening, a hydraulic elevator was put in operation.
Ooh.
And I got an elevator. Not the first
I want an elevator. In 1916, the east wing of the main building was extended in the rear, adding several guest rooms. Around this time, the alcove of the music room was added. That's all I get.
Jeez.
Cheese and fries.
In 1921, a rear veranda was enclosed, forming a room that currently serves as a gift shop.
A gift shop? Around 1935, the hydraulic elevator system was replaced with a cable-operated system and extended to the fourth floor, necessitating the addition of a secondary cupola to the house with mechanical apparatus.
Those elevators are creepy. There's a hotel in Colorado Springs going. It's pretty creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Originally a porte cochere extended, whatever that is, cochere extended from the central bay of the front porch, but this was removed when the south terrace was converted into a parking lot, and that's you.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. According to popular legend, it was built... What?
1983.
I thought I already read that one. In 1983, a service tunnel was excavated, connecting the basement level corridor to the staff's entrance. It is cut directly through the living granite on which the hotel rests. Yes, because that was important.
It was. Creepy second holes.
What? She doesn't even even know what she's saying.
In the concert hall east of the hotel was built by Stanley in 1909 with the assistance of Henry Lord Cornwallis Rogers, the same architect who designed the summer cottage.
Are you
Cornwall.
sure? Cornwallis. Cornholio. According to popular legend, it was built by F.O. Stanley as a gift for his wife Flora. The interior is decorated in the same manner as the music room in the main hotel and vaguely resembles that of the Boston Symphony Hall, McKim, Mead and White, 1900, with which the Stanleys would have been familiar. The stage features a trapdoor used for theatrical entrances and exits.
Or if you're Sweeney Todd.
To drop bodies down.
The lower level once housed a two-lane bowling alley, which was removed in the ownership of Maxwell Abel. It possibly resembled the bowling alley at the Stanley Henwell Club in Newton, pictures of which are archived in the Newton Free Library. I'll have to see.
Shit. My phone's dying. The hall underwent extensive repair and renovation in the 2000s because of Stephen King. Sorry.
Once called Stanley Manor, this smaller hotel between the main structure of the concert hall and 2.23 scaled down version of the main hotel. Unlike its model, the manor was fully heated from completion in 1910, which may indicate the Stanley planned to use it as a winter resort when the main hall the building was closed for the season.
The building. Porky.
Porky the pig.
However, unlike many other Colorado mountain towns now famous for their winter sports, Estes Park never attracted off-season visitors in Stanley's day, and the manor remained empty for much of the year.
Today it is called the Lodge and serves as a bed and breakfast that is off limits to the public.
Oh. Ow! I think my thumb is out of socket again.
Can't wait, people. Let's
Let's hope. I'm just
wait till you
playing.
discuss the Donner Party.
Oh
It's
Lord,
huge.
no. Stay tuned. Any big hotels have got scandals, just like every big hotel has got a ghost. Why? Hell, people come and go. Sometimes one of them will pop off in his room, heart attack or stroke or something like that. Hotels are superstitious places. Stephen King, The Shining, 1977. Ow.